start by congratulating everyone. Javed Jabbar साहब ने कुछ events का जिक्र किया कल का, but I think a huge win for Pakistan vis-a-vis FATF, and I'm humbled by the comments made in terms of the small role that HPL played in it. लेकिन अगर इसमें अगर जो good lessons learned हैं in terms of getting off the grey list, and to me from my perspective, and I think from everyone's perspective, political parties, idare, whether it was armed forces or intelligence agency, मैं सईद इरफान अली साहब यहाँ बैठे हैं from State Bank, all private sector, we all came together, both in terms of design and जितना हमें फिर वक्त लगा in terms of operational effectiveness across sectors. I think as chairman of Pakistan Bank Association, I'm very proud that in terms of KYC, AML, sanctions, transaction monitoring, we were ahead of the curve, और उसके लिए मैं आपसे माज़रत ख़्वाह भी हूँ क्योंकि अब हमारे फॉर्म्स कैसे हो गए हैं और क्या-क्या हमारी diligence की requirements हो गई हैं. But I think we have come a long way and we have earned it in a big way, and we have earned in a big way because we stand united on this one. तो जब हमें पाकिस्तान बिजनेस काउंसिल से हमने ये डिस्कशन शुरू की थी चार्टर फॉर इकोनॉमी की, वो इससे अलावा और कुछ नहीं है कि 3, 4, 5 बेसिक चीजों पे हम सब इकट्ठे हो जाएं. That's it. We don't need to go all the way down in a very granular way and get, agreement on every single thing. No, 3, 4, 5 things. And, Committee of Nations have told us, if you agree on 4, 5 things, and we come united as a country, as a nation, we can deliver. So I think if there is one thing to be congratulating all of us, but also in terms of the way forward, I think this is huge. Dekhiye, I was, since you mentioned about the global thing, I attended the IMF World Bank meetings last week in Washington, and on the sidelines of these meetings, met about 40, 50 stakeholders. तो उसमें 2-3 data points हैं. Met a global institution जिनकी sovereign debt advisory team, I met up with them in terms of seeing whether Pakistan get some help. At this point in time, they are advising 29 sovereigns. So there is good news and there is not good news. The good news is that we are not alone in terms of our economic challenges. There are many other countries who are going through the same discussions as we are at this point in time, fund or no fund. The other thing, the aspect of that is that isme ab hum, in some sense, the other thing that I did find, कि जो हम बात भी करते हैं in terms of also the flood devastation and the rescue and relief effort underway right now, and rehab and reconstruction, it's a long road. There's a lot of empathy and sympathy. So ये दोनों चीजें हैं which are the good part of the story. The not good part of the story from my perspective is that we are also now in line with many other countries, और उसमें donor fatigue भी है, और उसमें multilaterals का bandwidth issue bhi hai. So again, my thought process on that one, just coming out of those meetings, is we have to get our story together. And one of the key things which is coming out from there is that all your forces, all your stakeholders have to come together to present a credible story of where Pakistan is, what kind of support and assistance it requires. Ek baat to hai ki quantitative, kitna $10 billion का लॉस हुआ या $20 billion का लॉस हुआ या $30 billion का लॉस हुआ, लेकिन बात यह है कि हम एक वॉइस से बात करें कि हमें इस वक्त क्या चाहिए, आज से 2 महीने के बाद क्या चाहिए, 3 महीने के बाद क्या चाहिए. So I think there good stuff coming out of Islamabad at this point in time in terms of that we are sticking with the IMF program. We are going to focus on bilats in terms of how we are going to do our debt reprofiling, or commercial debt हमने नहीं touch करना, which makes perfect sense at this point in time in the global context. कि अगर $130 billion का हमारा external debt है और उसमें से 80% जो है multilateral and bilat है, why would we stop ourselves and knock ourselves out of international capital markets by not delivering on $9 to $10 billion of commercial debt or euro bond. So I think that makes perfect sense. I think that consistency of message going through is going to be very important. The last thing I just want to mention in terms of that global context, Zakir, जो आपने बात किया, देखिए ये जो friendliness बात है ना, कि friendly countries, let's just forget about it. We are in a world where people are talking about hardcore investors. आप उनको equity investment दें, आप उनको board seats दें, that's how the investment is going to come in. You know, all this repo discussion कि ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा, this is not going to happen. And we need to all come together, everyone, and the private sector, I know Gyas is sitting with me and we are trying to work something out, the private sector, किस vehicles के through, all the sympathetic investors who are ready, willing and able, who want to invest in Pakistan, but ये जो वो जो बात है ना कि जी आप आके deposit रख दें और सब अच्छे की, वो नहीं होगा अब. And we have to all, you know, rise and realize this new world order in which we are living in as Pakistan. The last thing जो आपने बात की है कि lowest rank की जो बात है, I think ये हम बहुत IMF पे नाराज होते हैं और लोगों पे नाराज होते हैं कि ये आके हमारे structural benchmarks दे देते हैं, etc. The country is already doing that. जो हम targeted subsidies दे रहे हैं to our most affected people. And I am a witness to it because 60 billion rupees has been dispersed to 2.3 million beneficiaries through HBL counters, through our branches, through our agents, through our ATM network. So this is not a small amount. Agar aaj bhi hum 220 ya 225 pe lagaye, this is 2.7, 2.8 billion dollars which has been dispersed to these amount of beneficiaries. अगर 2.3 मिलियन आप बेनिफिशरीज लगाएं और आप एक एवरेज हाउस होल्ड देखें जो 6 लोगों का होगा, राइट, या 7 लोगों का होगा या 8 लोगों का होगा, सो वी आर कवरिंग एटलीस्ट 1/3 ऑफ द कंट्री in terms of reaching out to the population. I think it's the right thing to do. That's what the fund is saying, कि आप targeted subsidies में लाएं और जहां उनका मसले मसाइल आते हैं कि जी हम ये इलेक्ट्रिसिटी में क्या कर रहे हैं, हम पेट्रोलियम में क्या कर रहे हैं, तो ये all they are saying is target it to the population which actually requires it. और अब बिस आप कह लें पिछली एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में कुछ और कह रहे थे, यही मैं आपसे अर्ज करना चाह रहा हूं. we can call it whatever we want to call it, we can label it whatever we want to label it. बात वही है कि आपके पास एक डेटाबेस है और जफर साहब आप उस बोर्ड पे बैठते हैं जहां पहले डॉक्टर सनिया निश्तर थी, अब you know we have another person who's running this. Doesn't matter, you have the database and that is a database which is a very transparent database जिसके through we can help, support, assist the lowest rung of our society. I speak out of turn in terms of the panel here and all the senior leaders sitting here. देखिए मेरे लिए leadership में the main thing is that we are paid to make decisions. And I think this is very, very critical कि वो जो courage और conviction है और जैसे भी आपने बात की है, there are so many moving parts and you know the external world, the internal world, you know 80% is good enough. We don't have to you know dot the I's and you know all the T's to be crossed. Good is good enough. We should make decision and move on. और ये बहुत बड़ी critical चीज़ है जो at times one finds lacking at the top of the houses, in the middle management, और whether हम छोटे से छोटा अदारा चला रहे हों या एक मुल्क चला रहे हों, timely decision and timely execution, that is what matters and that's what's required of leadership. The second data point I just want to mention very quickly कि अभी हेनरी किसिंजर की अभी एक किताब आई है, 1 महीना पहले ये पब्लिश हुई है. अगर आपने देखी है ज़रूर, अगर नहीं देखी है लिबर्टी बुक्स में अवेलेबल है, आई थिंक इसको ज़रूर देखिए, पढ़िए. Now here's a 99-year-old statesman who's talking about leadership and who's written about leadership and about the indispensability of leadership because leadership matters. और उसमें उन्होंने जो मेन चीज़ें की हैं कि बजाय इसके सारी थ्योरी एंड स्ट्रक्चर, वी ऑल नो, यू नो मैं हमेशा ये कहता हूँ कि पॉलिसी प्रिस्क्रिप्शंस की ज़्यादा ज़रूरत नहीं है, व्हाट एंड व्हाई तो हम सबको पता है, इज़ द हाउ पार्ट ऑफ इट। तो उसमें उन्होंने 6 लीडर्स को उठाया है, उनकी ज़िंदगियों को देखा है, उनकी लीडरशिप स्टाइल्स को देखा है, एंड उसमें फ्रॉम ली कुआन यू टू चार्ल्स डे गॉल टू मार्गरेट थैचर, और थीम्स वही हैं, लेकिन उसको उन्होंने ये बताया कि हाउ कैन यू वॉक द टॉक, वेदर इज ह्यूमिलिटी, वेदर इज एक्सेलेंस इन द केस ऑफ ली कुआन यू, और इज कन्विक्शन इन केस ऑफ मार्गरेट थैचर। एंड आई जेन्युइनली बिलीव कि वी कैन लर्न फ्रॉम दीज ग्रेट लीडर्स कि हम अपने ये जो अपने लीडरशिप स्टाइल हैं, बिकॉज फ्रॉम माई पर्सपेक्टिव जो लीडरशिप का दो नज़रिए हैं। एक हमारी पर्सनैलिटीज़ होती हैं, पर्सनैलिटीज़ आर फॉर्म्ड, व्हाट आई एम टोल्ड, जब हम 2-3 साल के होते हैं हमारी पर्सनैलिटीज़ आर फॉर्म्ड, देन इट्स अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ आवर बिहेवियर्स, एंड दोज बिहेवियर्स देन एक्चुअली कम इनटू आवर मैनेजमेंट स्टाइल्स, आवर लीडरशिप स्टाइल, दैट्स व्हाट वी कैन वर्क ऑन। इसलिए मैं अगर मैं गुजारिश कर सकूं, क्योंकि सब यहाँ बड़े लीडर्स बैठे हैं, अगर आपने ये किताब नहीं पढ़ी ज़रूर पढ़िए। थैंक यू।